Barings Bank was a British merchant bank based in London and one of England's oldest merchant banks. It was founded in 1762 by Francis Baring, a British-born member of the German-British Baring family of merchants and bankers. The bank was deemed to be Europe's sixth greatest superpower at its peak, and it once hosted Queen Elizabeth II as one of its prolific clientele. At one point, the bank had operated for 233 years, surviving countless wars, monarchic rulings, and revolutions. So,
Barings faces bankruptcy after an employee loses.
How did the fall of Barings Bank occur? It was all caused by a man named Nick Leeson. Nick Leeson was born in Watford, England. His father was a plasterer, and his mother was a nurse and a caregiver. Growing up, Nick wished to live a life of affluence and fame. Hence, in 1987, he managed to secure a job at Morgan Stanley. Fast forward to 2 years later, Nick successfully moved his career to Barings Bank. During his time in Barings, Nick did so well at his job that he promptly received a promotion as the new manager of a new futures trading operation in Singapore, only at the age of 25. At CIMEX, the Singapore International Monetary Exchange, Nick's job is to buy and sell futures for the Nikkei 225, a stock market index for the Tokyo Stock Exchange.
It was all going well initially for Nick's new career landmarks until calamity struck when it was least expected. The start of the mishap in his work began when two traders under Nick's team made faulty trades, causing losses of $300,000. Rather than reporting it straight to the London office, Nick resorted to hiding the losses in a computerized error account named the 58 account. In order to maintain the 58 account, margin payments need to be paid out to avoid raising suspicion about the losses. Nick attempted to request an amount of $75,000 from the London office, reasoning that it was to purchase contracts on behalf of a client. The money was promptly given without further questions being asked. Realizing that he could try to maintain his position for as long as he could, Nick continued with his schemes. By December 1993, the losses grew to an amount of $35 million. However, all of his plot was invisible from the outside, as people only saw Nick's achievement of bringing in profit of $15 million, which was 10% of Barings' profit for an entire year. The ugly truth is that Nick was making no profit at all after considering all of the hidden losses that he had concealed.
However, the facade started to slowly but surely slip away from Nick's grasp. Once in a while, the market did move in his favor, and as a result, Nick managed to trade out almost all of his losses in the 58 account. However, Nick's urge to maintain his stardom as the super salesman clouded his oversight, as he then began to bargain with his customers, selling the contract as undercut prices. This resulted in losses, which he hid in the 58 account as per usual, and he would also fudge the balance sheet to conceal his fraudulent activities. Other than that, tragedy struck when on January 16, 1995, an earthquake of 7.5 magnitude hit Kobe, Japan, causing the Nikkei 225 to crash. This was extremely unfortunate for Nick, as the day prior he had placed a short straddle on the Nikkei 225, betting that it would remain stable. As a result, once the market crashed, Nick acted impulsively by buying huge amount of contracts in the hope he could single-handedly raise the market prices to stability. This obviously did not work, and in one day, Nick Leeson lost £50 million.
As a result, the following occur as the aftermath of Nick's slip-ups. Firstly, Barings Bank was declared insolvent and faced liquidation. The bank's assets were then sold off to cover the substantial losses. On top of that, the crisis tarnished Barings' reputation as a reputable and trusted financial institution, causing a loss of trust among clients and investors. Next, the incident raised awareness among the public as well as the institution's regulators about the risks associated with derivative trading and the importance of implementing effective risk management practice within this institution. Last but not least, Barings' heavy losses were largely associated with its Singapore operation, which reflected badly on Singapore's financial reputation. This triggered the country to fortify its regulatory framework.
Thus, how can we view these situations from the lens of a Muslim? Firstly, Islam discourages speculative transactions or activities that involve uncertainty or gharar. Derivatives, especially when used for unauthorized and risky trading, as in the Barring case, are inconsistent with Islamic finance principles. It was narrated that Ibn Abbas said, "The Messenger of Allah forbade gharar transactions." Secondly, the fraudulent trading and the cover-up of losses by Nick Leeson constitute a violation of ethical and moral standards in Islam. Honesty and and transparency are the fundamental principles in Islamic financial transactions. Thirdly, when it comes to Maqasid al-Sharia, particularly under the protection of religion, avoiding the practice of usury, riba, and other practices are obligatory by the Sharia.